Good morning and welcome viewers to Book Club Corner, where every Wednesday we will be chatting with local authors and the publishing industry stakeholders about the literary arts, about the love of the written word, and about how it's going with writing. And of course, today is no different. We're in beautiful Scarborough, Tobago, and I am your host, Jewel Green, and I will be chatting with another fantastic author, Recia Borelli. Welcome, Recia.
Hi, Joel. Thanks so much.
Hi, good morning, and how are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. And you?
Very good. How is the weather where you are?
Oh, we've been thunderstorming since last night. So,
Ooh. So
yeah.
after this, you're gonna get in those sheets and just cover up.
Perhaps, yes, I think that might be definitely best with a good book, of course.
Yes, oh my gosh. Hopefully your own. Oh, I know you've
Yeah,
read it
yeah,
already.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, I
S-
did. Yeah, yeah.
So it's really nice to have you with us today. Viewers, Ricia is a first time author and she is with us today to chat about her book, Come What Me. Ricia, I've been struggling with this. I've been renaming your book.
Yeah.
And I really love the title of your book. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But we do it in Book Club Corner. We usually have a little libation. We have a little sip, a little chat, and I am in studio while Ricia is with us virtually. And in studio, I am drinking cassava wine.
Wow.
Y'all, it's
Cheers.
good. Yes. Cheers to you, Ricia. What's in your cup,
Cheers to
Ricia?
you.
I.
Technically, what's in my
Mhm.
cup stays in my cup, but I will tell you it's some squash on the rocks.
I love it. Listen, scotch is a good option too. So we're having
Yeah,
cassava wine and we're having some scotch. And we won't mention the brand of scotch until they sponsor us, right?
exactly. That's totally makes sense.
Yeah, and we usually sip, savor, and let me tell you, I've had this cassava wine before. It's a good one. So I'm just going to get straight in to the
Wow.
sipping, the sniffing, the sipping, and the savoring. Mm-hmm. Mm,
I'll join you.
mm. Yeah, this one is a good one. Let me tell you, Ricia, every time we are in Book Club Corner, we make sure and we support local. We don't just support local authors, we support local entrepreneurs, we support local industry, and we support our local winemakers. So next time you come home, Ricia, we're going to be giving you a bottle of Joefield wine. Whether you want cassava, whether you want sweet potato, he also has sorrel. He had listen, he have yeah, he had I tasted a jalapeno from him at times, a hot pepper one. It was real good, girl. Yeah, and
Wow.
they do the eggnog. Well, eggnog for where you are, right? But we call it panchakram, as you know. And he does that at
Right.
Christmas time. Christmas coming, so make sure and write down your little orders, right? Put them in
Right. Yeah.
early.
That sounds good. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going on a quick break, but when we come back, we'll be chatting with Ricia a little bit more about her book, Come What Me. It has a very peculiar name, and she's going to be telling us about that and more. Don't go far. You get yourself some wine, get yourself a little libation, something to drink where you are, and come right back with us. We'll be back in a few minutes. And we're back to Book Club Corner, where every Wednesday we chat with local authors and the stakeholders of the publishing industry. And this Wednesday we have Recia Borelli with us. And this is ahead of Book Lovers Day. Book Lovers Day is August the 9th, and we're chatting with Recia. Recia, are you there?
Hi. Yes. Yes,
Fantastic.
I'm right here.
So let's get straight into it, Recia. What's up with this name of your book? I could have only pronounced the first part. Say it for me so I get it right and tell me what is why the name? And when you all hear it, guys, you all will understand why I'm asking.
It's come what may, Joe be ho.
Joe
That's the
B. Who? What is
Joe B
the meaning of it?
means pretty much come what may, like whatever will be that sort of thing.
Oh, so what language is this Joe B. Who?
Hindi.
Ah, I love it. I'm stealing
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I'm going to be
You're
all over the
welcome.
place. Yeah, I'm going to be all over the place, Joe B. Who in it.
Yeah, exactly.
So the name of the book, Come What Me. And for those who don't know what genre the book is for, they're now getting into your book, looking at the book, wondering what's going on with the book. Tell us the genre of book you have written. It's 190 pages, and who your target market is. So who is this book for?
I think this book is pretty much for anybody that like likes to read. Like I don't feel like it's a particular like demographic, so to speak. I think a 15-year-old can read it. I think a 90-year-old can read it. If you like to read, I think the book is pretty much for you.
I would agree with that. I did a review of the book because I read the book, finished it up on Monday evening. And when I finished reading the book, I do Goodreads reviews. So I went on Goodreads and I did the review and so on. But I felt like this book was a book for young adults as well as adults. It's not a book that's too complicated and too mature. And I say that in a good way because now your target audience is much wider. It's a book about human emotions, about what we're going through, about, as the review said on Amazon, love, loss, and adventure in between and the shenanigans, right? And I love that
Yeah.
about the book. Tell us about your main character in the book. Because there were a few moments I couldn't decide whether there was, I don't want to give away any spoilers. You see me halting.
Yeah.
Oh, halting, I don't want to give any spoilers. There were quite a few characters in this book. Who would you say this book was really about? Because there were some stars in this book.
Yeah, I think it's really about the younger female protagonist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I would say it's about Risha. I think she's the main sort of character. And
Mm-hmm.
the story is pretty much not only that it's seen through her eyes, but like she's the nucleus of it.
Is this book a complete work of fiction, Lucia?
Um, the memories are real.
Mm-hmm.
The descriptions of certain places are real.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, those are sort of like real spots. Like the place in Boston, that's a real place.
Mm-hmm.
Little anecdotes with like there was a skateboarding incident that actually happened. There was another incident that actually happened. So it's
Mm-hmm.
it's fiction, sure, but there are some real like memories and actual anecdotes sort of interspersed.
Mm-hmm. In the book where you all go to the, well, not you all, I hear giving away all your life stories, but when the main character goes to the you go on a ride, a boat ride. They come to Tobago and they do the boat ride and stuff. I said, this this is a tourism. This is a book that's selling Tobago, that you will transform. The character was transformed. That's what they felt like after having this boat ride, seeing no man's land. They felt they were transformed after they went home. And that's what you want from a vacation. That's what you want from going to a new location, to traveling and for a renewing of your spirit, a renewing of your mind, feeling like you're not returning the same person. You're returning renewed, with a new perspective. The characters that went to no man's land. Tell us a bit about that and why those characters went to no man's land. Why did you head the conversation and the book in that direction in terms of bringing it home? Is it that you wanted to showcase home, or there was some reason that those characters were rooted and routed to come to Tobago?
Well, I wanted them to go on vacation, and I figured, well, what better spot than, you know, Trinidad and Tobago? I figured that'll be the best of both worlds. They'll get to have some really cool experiences, and also readers would get to learn about Tobago and see a different side if they hadn't, been there or heard about it before.
Mm-hmm. I think that was very instrumental because for me, I always look at the marketing side of book writing, right? If you're going to be producing a book, we want to always make sure that you're putting a little piece in there where you can at some point say, well, I can market my book through and I can market it this way as well. So I thought it was so um, I think your idea to send them to Tobago is such an amazing part of that book, especially for me, looking at the fact that now you can have some really nice merchandise for that book, Ricia.
I'll need to pick your brain on that one. That actually did not occur to me. I think cool T-shirts with it printed like the title of the book. That is kind of
Yeah.
neat. I think it's a cool tagline. That'll make a cool T-shirt.
Of course, I love
Swap.
the Joe Biho and, that you came to Tobago and, you kind of just wild abandon. Come what may, whatever.
Exactly. Exactly.
Akuna Matata.
Yeah. That's exactly it. Whatever. Come
Hmm.
with me. Yeah.
Is that a mantra you use in your own life?
Um. I guess I kind of do. I never really like thought of it like that, but yeah, you can't really like you can't predict what is going to happen. You don't know. You just kind of have to go with the flow. So you're gonna deal with whatever come with me. So might as well.
Hmm. I think that is something that all of us can take away from this book. Not a feeling of giving up, but a feeling of surrender to those things that we can't control, those elements in our life, the people in our life that obviously we can't control, and situations and circumstances. We do as much as we can, but there's just a point where you have to say, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. So
Yeah,
come what may,
literally.
Joe
So
be
be
ho.
it. Yep. Oh, be who. Yep. So be it.
Yeah, we're going on a quick break, but Ricia, before we go there, I want you to tell us about your experience as a first-time author, because this book was written in May. This was published in May of this year. So you're
March.
pretty March of this year. So you're
Yeah.
pretty recently, it hasn't worn off yet. What is that feeling for you and that experience for you of being a first-time author, having a book? And you can tell people, I have a published book. It's not figurative, it's not coming, it's here. What is that feeling?
It's it hits me every now and then still. Like I clearly seem to have a delayed reaction with major events. It seems, right? Like I met Gordon Ramsay once and it didn't hit me
Oh.
until after the fact. I'm like, wait, I really
Mm-hmm.
met Gordon Ramsay. So yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
had a delayed reaction. It's still sort of hard to digest. Like I cannot believe I wrote and published a book. I'm super thankful. I'm really excited about it. And there's a part of me that feels a little chuffed. I actually did it. So that kind of felt good. But yeah, it still hits me every now and then like, wow, I wrote a book and published
Mm-hmm.
it. So
Why did you write it? I mean, I'm happy that you wrote it because I really enjoyed the book. But what motivated you and inspired you perhaps to write Come What May?
I did a creative writing class at New York University, NYU, and one of the assignments was to write like three outlines of potential stories, and this was one of them. And I felt like the story needed to be told, and I'm the only one that can do it, and so I figured, well, why not? And the characters pretty much just told me what they wanted to do and where they wanted to go, and I had this but to listen.
Authors say that before, especially of fiction work when they're writing, they just, it is the characters are leading me. I have to wait to find out what's happening. And I've always found that, it's so weird. I think you just have to be in it. You have to be in it to understand. It's a in the stream moment. It's in the flow moment. What is that like when you're just in the flow? You're writing and you're so in the book, you are in it and out of it at the same time. You are the character, but you're still waiting to figure out what they want to do and where they want to go. What is that duality in that experience? What is that about, and how does it feel?
It's the weirdest thing because I can sit and say, here's what I'm going to write, and I won't do anything. The words will seem very staccato and forced, and it wouldn't really sort of like taste good. Yeah, taste good, yeah, I said that. And but when I just sort of surrender and let the characters tell me what they want to do, it just flows, and I can, like I wrote half the book in like 3 weeks, so that is kind of like that's how it'll sort of go
Hmm.
once I listen and try not to force it.
I think I understand exactly what you're saying now. So what I'm hearing is that you're saying once you start to write, if this is where the characters want to go, if this is where the story wants to go, you get that feel good feeling like, yes, this is it. And if that's not it, you get this, no, like a pullback, a stall. Yeah.
Yeah. And the store can last long. It can last a month. It can last a year. It can
Mm-hmm.
last however long until the characters say, "Here's what. This is what needs to be done, and this is where I want to go." Because they are individuals. Those characters. I can't make them do my will. I have they have their own sort of thoughts and feelings and idiosyncrasies, and even though I'm the one that's sort of imbuing that, they somehow I feel like they take a life of their own, and I can't dictate to them, anything. Just like somebody can't make me do what I don't want to do, I couldn't make the characters do what they don't want to do.
Mm-hmm. Recia, this is getting very philosophical, very existential. You're feeling that kind of conversation coming on. And when I start to have those conversations, Recia, I like to reach for my little wine.
Yeah, I
I like to reach for some
was like,
wine
yeah,
to,
boy.
yeah, to just give you that moral boost. Listen, guys, we're going on a quick break because I want to hear more about these characters, right? But what we're going to do when we come back from this quick break, you'll find out when you come back in a few minutes. And we're back in Book Club Corner in beautiful Scarborough, Tobago, chatting with published author Recia Borelli. She has written a book called Come What May, Jo Bhi Hu. That's Hindi for Come What May, and I love it. I told her I'm stealing it. Recia, are you here with us?
Yes, I am happy to be
Fantastic.
here.
You with this book cover, you took a picture. You look so full of joy in this picture. I really loved it. You're just here holding the book cover. I don't know if they're gonna bring it up on screen of you holding the book. I love that photo of you holding. Yes. And this was yesterday when we were chatting.
Yeah.
What is that feeling for you as an author when you have written that last word, that final word? You put the end as it is at the end of your book. From being a first-time author, you told us about that experience, but how does it feel knowing that I have, I'm finished writing this book, there's not another word to come in here? Or is there another word to come in?
Right. Interestingly enough, the last paragraph was written before the book was finished. So that's that. So I knew how I wanted it to end, and I had that, like, paragraph and ending. But when the sort of meat got on the skeleton and it was all like ready, I'm like, okay, let me check. And I reread and I reread and I checked for, obviously you check for errors. I'm like, how does this taste? How does this feel? And then I realized, okay, I can't do anything else. I think it's done. And I was like, okay, done. Just leave
Yeah.
it alone, let it marinate. I went back a couple of weeks later to check, and yeah, I'm like, okay, it's done. I've written a book, and
This
that's
is
pretty
this is
much
it.
book one. Yeah, this is it.
I'm noticing some phrasings, and you're telling on yourself you're a foodie, Recia.
Funny. I, I I do have a small catering company called the Scooter Girls. So
Oh.
yeah, so that's where the love of, not necessarily love of food, but just the love of creating. I love to cook and come out and
Mm-hmm.
make drinks, cocktails. So yeah, it helped, definitely. It helped when I was writing, to be able to describe like the different meals and dishes and that sort of thing. And obviously, I'm a huge fan of Ramsey, so that also helps. So yeah.
Yeah. So being a foodie, being a person who is into the creative food arts, because that's what I'm hearing, that you love creating dishes, making these signature pieces, right? W- When you met Gordon Ramsay, because I've watched him on TV quite a few times, because I'm a foodie as well, right? I love me some Gordon Ramsay, and he's a burst in the kitchen and tell them what is what. How was it
Yep.
meeting him? Is he such a blowhard or is he the sweetest ever?
I think he was the sweetest ever. He is a giant. He is a
Ah,
giant. And he's really big and strong and with the most piercing blue eyes ever, and very gentle. His hands were like, like super soft. And he's asking about the Scooter Girls because I wanted the book, his autograph to be made out to the Scooter Girls. So he's asking about the Scooter Girls and what we did. And so I said, we're a small, a two-man sort of catering company. He said, so what is your special dish? I said, well, shrimp curry, goat curry with roti. And he says, oh, so it didn't occur to you to bring any. I'm like, wow, kicking myself here now. But that would have been awesome had
yeah.
he been able, had thought of that.
Oh
But,
my gosh. Yes.
yeah,
I love that you
it was,
work food into your book as well. Tell
well, you
me,
have to
yeah.
eat.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to drink, so you have to sort of work those things in somehow.
I'm finding these authors I'm interviewing, Ricia, are more and more my people, right? The more I chat with authors, the more we love to eat and chill and have a little drink on the side. Listen, authors, we may have some introverted ways, but we're very social people.
Yeah, exactly.
Very social. Don't let authors fool you with their quiet nature, just want to be a wallflower in a corner. Listen, if you get in good with us, we will eat and drink you under a table.
Agreed. Yeah,
That's the wonderful thing about the literary world. We love to eat, drink, and do books. We
yeah,
say,
exactly.
let me ask you, When you were writing the book and you came to the end, you put your full stop, this is it. How did you decide who would be publishing your book? And not only how did you decide that, but how did it go from there?
Whew, that was the hardest part for me. I really didn't know what I was doing and didn't really have, like a great wealth of resources. So I started just randomly Googling stuff, and I decided to text just about everybody I can think of, asking, "Hi, do you know anybody in sort of publishing? Do you know anybody that's been right? Anything of this sort?" And oddly, somebody was like, "Yes, let me introduce you to someone." And I hooked up with a book doula sort of thing. And they're like a book coach, so they'll help you if you like from writing the book to birthing the book, but the book was pretty much already like written. But dealing with them, I was able to just get like feedback on the actual writing process and the quality and the and different ways you can go about publishing, whether you want to go with a traditional publisher or whether you want to go the self-publishing route. And for me, I figured the self-publishing route was the better way for me. I mean, I thought it would be cool to get an agent, but that was a bit that was I was not ready to sort of explore that. So I figured for the first time, let me just sort of self-publish. So I just I just queried with a bunch of different self-publishing sort of places and asked, a bunch of questions because I'm Recia, and if anybody knows me, they know I ask a million questions, and I went with what worked best for me at that time. Maybe the next book might be I mean, have a different answer, but for this book, the publishers that I chose and the route that I went worked best for me at that time.
Hmm. Well, I would have to agree with you because I think they did a great job with that book. Did you find it stressful? Was it something that was stressful on you in terms of the publishing process? And not just stressful on you, but what about the financial side of it, the business side of writing, as we talk about? What kind of stress, if any, did that come with?
Um, the stress for me, I felt like was the literally the week before the book came out, because I felt like at that point everything was hitting the fan, and the word that rhymes with kit, everything was hitting the fan at the week before, and so it was very very stressful. I totally forgot about ISBN numbers. I mean, that's really I should have known better, and I feel also they should have kind of told me, and I that slipped. So the week before, they're like, "Oh, where are your ISBN numbers?" I'm like, "Oh, well, did you give it to me?" No, right? Like, I'm also a first time author, so I don't quite know what I'm doing, right? So now they're telling me, "Oh, well, you need three, and then you have to pay for this, and then you have to pay for copyright." And so I did
Ah,
not cater for that. I catered for the package that I signed up for. And then they're like, "Oh, yeah, ISBN numbers." So it's three different formats, so three different ISBN numbers, and then copyright. And then I had my book designed like from an artist in Trinidad, Janine Laron Andrew. She designed it, and so now they had to format it for like a book. So then you had to pay for that as well. But that part was fine. I expected that. It's just that when they hit me with the, "Oh, you need three ISBN numbers and you need to pay for copyright and it has to go to the Library of Congress," and yeah, I was freaking out at that point. And but I said, "Here's it's what you need to do," and I did it. Joe Biho.
Joby Ho, I love that. And it's so true. From where I sit here as a book marketer, I tell people all the time, sometimes you get certain things put together in a package and you get one particular cost, but they are hidden costs because they wanted to get you in the door, right? So there are things that are not going to be said because they need to get you in the door. right? But just for, yeah, and not all, you have to ask, is that all? Because, I signed a contract with you. Is that all? And, as you said, it can't be helped. This is what I need to do. It would have been good had you told me. I would have needed an ISBN number. But just for all the authors out there, we're going to go on top of Pigeon Peak and shout it to y'all. You need an ISBN number for your book. It cannot be published without it. No one will call your book published without it, right? You're not a magazine or a newspaper. You're a book and you need an ISBN number. And in your case, you needed 3. So that's the hardcover, the ebook, and the paperback, right? You need them for those.
Yeah.
You need them for those versions, because every ISBN number is telling whether it's a library or a bookstore or whoever may want rights to your book, what version of the book it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is your book
I mean,
in the
you know what it's funny?
libraries? Tell me.
It's actually it's in the library. It's at the library in Jersey City. It's at one of the libraries in Jersey City. I'm going to start looking into trying to get it to the library in Trinidad. I think that would be cool.
Very cool. Listen, as an author, I tell them all the time, libraries are perfect to get your book into. I always advocate for little offices as well, right? A little doctor's office. Put a version of your book, or perhaps put a sample of your book there. Because if your book is voluminous, you don't have to spend any money to put it in there, especially when it may be free. So put a sample of your book. But office spaces are great for books. I have gone to many an office and sat down there wondering where my life is headed. I've been here for the last 15 years. You read everything in the office, and there you have this book. It's just be something that makes you feel really good about life, to look down and see a book that you could say, all right, well, I'm going to get into this while I wait.
Yeah.
Recia, yeah. So tell me about, how did you get your ISBN number? Did you have to apply for it yourself, or did you, as a self-published author using a publisher, they had to go and do it?
They did it for me. I was not about again, being the first time. I did not want to try to do it myself. Um, Look, I felt I needed guidance throughout. I'm not. I was not willing to risk it because I just didn't know enough. Even though like I researched, and even though but they did it. They got it. I think within a day, like I must have, paid maybe like on a Friday or something evening, and by Monday, they're like, okay, this is the final draft of the book, the ISBN numbers, okay, approved, and that was that. So,
Hmm.
yeah,
Fantastic. It always just wows me when I hear about the experience of first-time authors and what you went through and all of that. But listen, without any further ado, Recia, you're going to be reading to us, as everybody and a grandmother who watches Book Club Corner. If you're new to Book Club Corner, let me just tell you, they're just 2 favorite highlights for me: the wine and the reading. Right?
wow, yeah,
Yeah.
that works.
We say you're going to get into this book for us. I am ready. I'm comfy.
Cool.
Take it away.
Okay. Do you want me to tell you where it's at, or do I just jump
Oh,
in?
yeah. No, no, no. Tell us everything.
Okay, so this is just after graduation, so it's very much sort of laying the groundwork for the story. So suddenly the old rickety wooden garage grudgingly opened, protesting all the way as if Rip Van Winkle himself was roused from a 100-year slumber to reveal a hulking behemoth mass. What in tarnation is going on? I pondered, for I could not make any sense of what was in front of me. Slowly, bit by bit, my eyes adjusted to the darkness, and I instantly looked at Rishi, whose mouth was entirely agape. Someone flicked the light switch, and the thing that had taken up residence in our garage was revealed to us. Ma Bap procured a vehicle for us. It was a metallic midnight black Toyota Highlander, rocking the biggest red ribbon I have ever seen. Kya baat hai, Babaji? What's going on? I asked, still rather confounded, as I could not comprehend why this vehicle would be in our garage. Our folks just looked at each other and had just to laugh at my naivete. This is for you and Rishi. Surely this will make your commute between New York and Boston easier. Not to mention, it wouldn't be such an arduous task to bring your dirty laundry home either, would it? Ma explained. Rishi, still gobsmacked with his mouth wide open as if he had lockjaw, officially looked like a buck caught in headlights, his liquid amber eyes darting frantically, fleetingly, alighting on each of us. He was rendered speechless. Kya ye socha hai? Is this true? He croaked, still incredulous. Ha, beta. Yes, son, this is for you and your sister. After what seemed to be the loudest silence known to man for an indeterminate amount of time, squeals erupted everywhere. We could not believe we had a vehicle of our very own. Jao, go on, take it for a test drive to Matapan Square and come right back, Baba suggested. Yippee, let's go, Rishi, I exclaimed as I quickly hopped in the front passenger seat. No, not you, Recia. It's too late. Tomorrow you go, but tonight Rishi goes and comes back. I was most chagrined. Have they forgotten that I'm older? Rishi always gets to do whatever he wants, but my actions are curtailed because it's not proper for a respectable Indian girl. Never mind the fact that I'm an American girl. My heart dropped and my eyes filled with tears, threatening to pop out at any second. Mad road, Didi. Don't cry. Tomorrow we could go to Fenway Park. Acha. Okay, Baya. Tomorrow it is, I sniffled, still peeved and crestfallen. Easy for him to say because he was getting to test drive the Highlander now. Rishi got into the driver's seat, adjusted his mirrors, and strapped on his seatbelt. Straight to Matapan and back, Baba reiterated. Rishi replied as his eyes flashed to me. Love you, Didi, he mouthed. I love you too. Diane say, my brother, be safe. As he reversed out of Noah Street, I told him that. The red brake lights were the last thing I saw as he maneuvered right on Wood Avenue heading to Matapan Square. As I made my way inside the house with the flanking towers better known as Mabap, a sweet melody from one of my favorite movies engulfed me. Harpal Yahan Jibar Jio Johe Sama Kalho Naho. Live each moment to the fullest, for tomorrow never comes. Gosh, such a cool song. And Shah Rukh Khan is really sweet and funny in that movie. So handsome, especially when he gets right in the rain. He looks super hot wet, okay? But I digress. Clearly, I had a brain fart. As I removed the 9 years of silky material that was my sari, those lyrics played in a constant loop as if the record was stuck on those two lines. I did not mind at all. I love that song. I started to doze, the song still sweet on my mind, knowing that when Rishi returned, he would surely rouse me to dissect the minutiae of our auspicious day. I must have been more exhausted than I thought, for I had fallen asleep in a matter of minutes, only to be jarred out of my senses by the high-pitched keening of a wild animal. It was so visceral that I felt its pain. I couldn't figure out what the hell was making that inhuman noise. It was very unnerving, actually, and for some reason I started to shake. I got out of my bed and I approached the door when I realized the unearthly noise was coming from inside the house. But what creature could have gotten trapped here, I thought. I cautiously made my way downstairs, the noise intensifying tremendously, with some incoherent babbling akin to talking in tongues. What is going on? Mira acha beta, my good boy, my good boy. This woman cannot be serious. She has taken filmy to an entirely new level. She could not be possibly making such a hullabaloo about her baby boy, right? Her golden child coming back from his test drive. Wait, did I just think that? Who am I kidding? Of course she could have such a reaction. I swear my mother must have watched too many Bollywood movies growing up. As my feet touched the last step, the loudest scream I have ever been privy to came from the right-hand side of the banister. Instantly, I got cold. Sirens, bells, gongs, cuckoo clocks, the latter oddly fitting considering my family, wouldn't you say, rang out loud in my head. It was as if my brain exploded into fireworks. That bright burst of burning white-hot light, the plethora of noise and cacophony amidst the most searing vision of Babaji, Baba, my daddy, cradling a screaming Ma in his sinuous arms as she rocked back and forth, their faces awash with tears, every ounce of their emotions fighting for prominence. That moment, before either of them was cognizant of my presence, it hit me. I just knew. It all makes sense now. That particular line from Calvo Naho on repeat, suggesting to live every moment to the fullest, for tomorrow never comes. My beloved Rishi was no more. He was killed instantly, a head on collision with a highly inebriated driver on the corner of Cummings Highway and Wood Avenue, merely half a mile from home, a minute and a half from our old rickety garage on Noah Street where it all began. Life, as I had come to know it, was over. As the landing gear emerged from the bowels of the plane, I was gently awakened by the flight attendant. We were making our descent into John F. Kennedy International Airport. I looked out the window at the sleeping giant below, bathed in an incandescent glow, and felt an intense anxiety and longing. Had it been 10 years since I was happily ensconced in the ample bosom of my family in Boston, I pondered. Wow, 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 that's crazy. Well, this is it. A new chapter of my life, I said sotto voce, as the Boeing's wheels touched the inky tarmac with a thud and a screech, barreling toward my future.
Mm. Mm. Recia. Joe be who?
Yep. Joe B. Who. Yep.
That scene, a lot of us who have been touched by loss and grief, you know, it is a riveting scene, quite short, very potent, just some snippets, not, and I love that you haven't prolonged it, but the peak we've gotten into it has given us that real understanding of the grief that that family is going to go through. What made you put this aspect of grief and loss in this book?
Um, I mean, that's sort of life. These things kind of happen, and I wanted something kind of drastic and dramatic. And I figured, well, what better than for Risha to lose her twin? And that's pretty much, how I came to use that scene in the book.
Scene is something that you will never understand if you haven't been in it, obviously. But not only that, this is probably the loss of the thing that can be as close to anybody as possible. I feel like you picked a type of grief and loss that is just probably something that could wreck your life if you just don't deal with it properly, because I mean the loss of a twin, that's a lot. Listen, if you want to know about how, right, Rashif and how she deals with this loss of her brother, get what come what you see, I rename in your book again, Recia. Get
Yeah,
come
yeah.
what may. Recia, tell us where we can get your book, apart from getting it where you first told us, but tell us where, other than Amazon and the library in New York, how can we get your book locally if we wanted it?
For now, it's just on Amazon, but I do intend to look at some other places in Trinidad to see if I can get it at least like online. That's the plan.
Okay, fantastic. We're going to chat about that. There's Digital Canopy, right? It's a
Right.
local company, and you can put your book up on there. I encourage all authors to support local, and they're a local company. Ladies
Yeah,
and
that's the plan.
gentlemen, yeah, we're going on a quick break, and when we come back, we're heading to the Green Room. That's where we share insights with authors and publishers right here on Book Club Corner. So don't go anywhere. I know some of you all out there thinking of, someone close to you that you have lost. For me, it would be my mom. Her birthday was the 4th of August. but you're thinking of somebody you lost and you may be feeling low. If you are feeling depressed and you're feeling that you may need support, please know that there are some numbers you can call. We will share them on our Facebook and WhatsApp. You'll be able to get it, Facebook and Instagram, sorry. But if you need support, you can check those numbers out, because grief and loss is nothing, it's nothing to play with, right? It can take you down a very dark road. However, we're going to be coming back very shortly and heading into the green room. So don't go anywhere with us. Stay with us. Wipe your little tears in the corner of your eyes. I know how it is. And stay with us. We're here chatting with Recia Borelli. And as you deal with anything you may be dealing with, get something to snack on, get some refreshment, and come right back for the green room. As we said before we went on break, if you're experiencing any emotions that are too big for you to handle on your own and you need some support, you can call 131, just putting it out there for persons who may need the number quicker than I can put them up on our social media. So that's 131, a free helpline. We're heading to the green room, ladies and gentlemen, and this is where we'll be sharing some insights. And today we're going to be chatting about an imprint. What is an imprint in the publishing industry? Well, it's a printer's or publisher's name, address, and other details in a book or other publication. So when you open a book and you see who has published that book, they put their name and their information, vital information in there so you can find them. That's called an imprint. And you may hear this word and you may wonder, wait, it have imprint, it have publisher? What are we really talking about? Come back next week. We're going to be explaining to you about the big 5 publishers and what exactly is that? What is the big 5, or who are the big 5? We're going to be talking about that in the green room. But an imprint, again, is that information that you would find in a book that tells you who the publisher is, their address, how you can find them, and any other information you need. That's called an imprint. Recia, I have to ask, who is your imprint?
I'm going to look at the book. Yeah.
I put you on the spot, girl.
You did actually put me on the you put me on the spot. This is slightly embarrassing.
Not at all.
Book writer corner.
Ah,
433 Walnut, Connecticut, Walnut Court, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
You see, so guys, that's what we're talking about. So Recia was able to open her book and find the publisher's name and the information. And there's a reason why it's an imprint versus you just saying it's a publisher. But again, we'll talk about that next week. We're so happy that you could be you could be here with us today. Those viewing in Trinidad and Tobago, across the Caribbean, as well as our author, Recia Borelli. And we want to also thank our part sponsors for the Green Room. And we have 2 sponsors. That's Mansa's Bookstore in Calder Hall. And we want to thank our part sponsor, Mansa Enterprise. It's a bookstore in Calder Hall, a recent bookstore, and they support local authors. So if you have a local book and you would like to have it on the bookshelves for the public to be able to connect with it, please give Mansa a call. Or if you're looking for a local book, Mansa has that book for you. They also have, school is coming back in soon. We're going back to school. You need those books for your book list. You need to make sure the kids have all their textbooks and all their paraphernalia that goes with it. And Mansa is offering this $150 voucher. If you spend money at Mansa, you get this voucher. And for every $500 this is what you'll get. And they're giving this voucher away. So if you are watching the show and you would like to shop at Mansa's and get this voucher, all you have to do is when we post on our social media about the voucher, all you have to do is comment under our voucher photo, and you will be our next winner of the $150 book voucher from Mansa. Our next part sponsor is LR Books. We want to thank them for sponsoring us, and this book collection of poems by Latoya, this is such a fantastic book, and I can say that because one, I've read it, and two, Latoya has been here on Book Club Corner with us, chatting with us in season 1, and you can find her conversation with us on our YouTube channel, Book Club Corner TT, where you'll find all the episodes. But we want to thank her for sponsoring Green Room, and her book is called The Collection of Poems. You can get her book at all major bookstores across Trinidad and Tobago. You can find it on Amazon, and you can also find it at Lamb's Mini Mart right in Canby. You just pull up to the Lamb's Mini Mart and say, listen, I came here for a collection of poems, and they're going to just produce that book. She always has it there. If they're out of print anywhere, Lamb's has it. We want to thank you for being here with us in the Green Room. And next week, we have a fantastic author called Joel Frederick, and he's going to be with us sharing his book. And of course, bring your wine, bring your snacks, and as we chat with Joel about the divergent languages of absolution, we welcome Joel next week as we chat with another local author. And before we go, I just want to say cheers to you. Thank you for being here. And again, if you're dealing with some big emotions and you need some support, please dial 131 and they'll be able to direct you and to help you. Recia, thank you for being here with us. Cheers to you, my dear.
Cheers to you, Jules. Thank you so much for having me.
It was lovely, and we have to have more conversations like this.
I'm looking forward to that for sure.
Cheers to you in Trinidad and Tobago Caribbean, whether you're in St. Lucia, Dominica, wherever across the Caribbean you may be viewing. We're back here at Book Club Corner next week, Wednesday from 11 a.m. And until then, cheers to you.